Good evening, everybody. My name is Kayla. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us tonight for our CDL webinar. I am the placement director here at National Training. We're going to have a great guest on with us tonight, Mr. We'll introduce him in just a minute. He's with TMC Transportation. So as we get started, I know some people are still logging in and getting connected. We'll go through a little bit of what I like to call the housekeeping. Kind of go over what you guys might see on your screen. So some people are joining us by their desktop computer or laptop, but I think probably the majority, is safe to say nowadays, is either on a tablet or their smartphone. So you're going to see some controls on your screen. The number one is going to be your microphone. Everybody will have a chance to mute themselves or type in questions, but we'll open up those phone lines here in just a few minutes where you guys can ask some questions. Number two is going to be your hand icon, this green hand. Everybody go ahead and click that green hand and leave it up. That way I know you guys can hear me. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Ladravius. Thanks, Timothy and Shay. Jean and Kiera. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for letting me know you guys can hear me. I'm going to go ahead and just put all of them down at one time. Number three, it might be number 4 on some devices, but number 3 is going to be that question mark. If you guys have questions and you don't want to forget them before I let you guys talk, go ahead and you can type those into that question box. I monitor that throughout the duration of the webinar here. Some people also have cameras. You know, it's kind of up to you if you want to do it. I choose not to, just because some people are joining us from a more rural location where their bandwidth might not be so good. So I like to make sure that they're able to get the connection correctly. So we don't typically do cameras on these evenings. Apologize ahead of time. We're having what I like to call the pollinating here, so if I sound a little stuffy, it's just because the pollen's everywhere. But we'll go through some stuff with you guys here about our school. We were incorporated in 1978 as a proprietary post-secondary vocational education institution. We are committed to providing a strong curricula with programs that emphasize practical, usable skills like general education foundation. We have a caring environment with personal attention and close faculty-student interaction with our open door admission policy. We are Florida's oldest private truck driving school. We have a state-of-the-art training facility, including our 1.25-mile multi-lane highway that ensures a safer, more efficient training. We have graduated over 40,000 students since 1978. You might find this question: why drive a truck for a living? Simply put, job security. Speaking of job security, at this time I would love to invite Mr. Brad Bolden to join us and tell us about his wonderful company, TMC. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Brad.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Kayla.
Awesome. Got a couple of interactions with you between your visit to the school today and now your webinar with us tonight. So I appreciate all of your interest in our alumni and our students. But tell us a little bit about, just to start off, a little about the history of TMC.
All right. Well, TMC has been around since 1972. Mr. Arnett purchased a small company, the Mecklin Company, up in Des Moines, in the Iowa area. He was from Des Moines, so he moved everything over. Basically, what he bought was the authority and 6 trucks with trailers. And the trailers were flatbed, so that's how we started, and it's how we've been since the inception of the company. Now looking at about, about 50 years. We just celebrated our 50-year anniversary last year. So yeah, but we're a flatbed company, and it's currently we are the largest flatbed company in the U.S. I understand, and last year our company did $1 billion with a B for the first time in history, revenue, which was a pretty big deal. And that's, the company's solid, and so we got a really good history with what we do. And the fact we do one thing, we've kind of got it down pat. We do that pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. What an accomplishment. So you guys hire both student drivers, of course, experienced drivers, but tell us a little bit about what somebody coming right out of truck driving school could expect coming to work for TMC.
All right. Well, In saying that, I'll give you just a little bit of background on myself. I
Yeah.
was a company recruiter some years ago for a company in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Traveled, even came to national back then with that company. And for the past 3.5 years, I have been an independent recruiter from home, and I was working with 52 different major carriers throughout the U.S. Um, Pretty much all the major companies that take new graduates, I was working with them. So I've got a very good insight as far as what they can expect on home time as a new graduate and they can expect as far as money goes for a new graduate. But when I saw the TMC model, of course I'm skeptical because I'm just that guy, but I saw something I'd never seen in the industry: tremendous home time and unbelievable pay. I mean, the kind of pay that TMC offers new grads is the kind of pay that many drivers, look to try to make even after 15, 20 years, driving on the road. But TMC is a company that we love new graduates. We have a tremendous training program. Again, we're completely flatbed, but we're 100% no touch. We never touch our freight. All we do is secure the freight. And the new grads come in the North Florida area and pretty much all the East Coast. You will be home every single weekend with TMC, which is unheard of, primarily in the industry for companies that take new graduates. And so you'll see home each week unless you choose otherwise. Home on Friday, go back out on a Sunday or Monday, and then you're back out doing the same thing again, making the kind of money that you wanted to make. Now, we pay differently than most companies. We pay a percentage of the load. Thankfully, that police officer wasn't after me, but we pay a percentage of the load. We don't pay by cents per mile, but most companies do. And the reason that most companies do is because it's financially a better situation for them. But with TMC, the percentage starts at 26%. As a new graduate, can go as much as 34%. And so you're making the kind of money that drivers that's been driving for years are making straight out of school, which honestly is unheard of. Honestly, most companies that will take new grads, they're going to want you to be out 2-3 weeks at a time. And then they're going to want you to be, you're going to be the kind of money you're thinking you're going to be bringing in is going to average, if you're making $800 a week take home money, that's really, really good. But more often than not, it's going to be closer to 600 to 800. But TMC, because we pay percentage, you're going to be able to make money like $1,100 load, 26% is $286. Tarping that load's $40, $326 for that load. We do 5 loads a week. That equates out to about $1,500 to $1,600 on a weekly basis at TMC. First week out, first month out. So that's quite incredible as far as the industry goes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great money. When you compare that to a lot of other things, and I'm seeing here on the website, first year drivers can earn up to $88,000. That is nothing to joke about for sure. So that is
right.
a great option.
And we do have a driver that is from the Jacksonville area that was a new graduate. Now, he chose to stay out quite a few weekends his first year in, but so his first year W-2 was over $111,000 straight out of school first year with TMC. Now, my background, I was in medicine for 22 years. I was a flight paramedic on a chopper. Never made that kind of money. Never made that kind of money. That's crazy.
That's amazing. And the fact that, like you said, somebody right out of school is able to get something like that is just baffling compared to what we were seeing things, just a few years ago. That now is the best time that I've seen for people to become a truck driver. So we talked a little bit about, you mentioned how the pay scale works with that. What about benefits? What kind of benefits can a driver expect to get with a company like TMC?
Well, the benefits, most of the benefits start at 60 days. Of course, we have health insurance, we have vision and dental insurance, short, long-term disability. That insurance, again, starts at 60 days. You can have all of those. If it's simply you, it's $40. If it's you're unmarried but have children, it's $70. and if you're married and have children, cover everybody, as many kids as you want, for $140. Um, so those start at 60 days. Now, one thing that starts immediately is the company pays for you to have $50,000 of true term life insurance placed on you day one, and the company pays that. It's not an accidental policy. That's paid out. We have a 401k. The company will match 10% of your income on a weekly basis, that goes into your 401k. We have vacation days. After 1 year, you get 7 paid vacation days. After 2 years, you'll have 14 paid vacation days every year thereafter. Previous military, if you have military experience, we are part of the apprenticeship program with the GI Bill, so you can actually tap into your GI Bill and get some of the housing stipend. Right now, it averages around $1,100 a month coming straight from the VA. And also, it's pretty cool, you'll have a star on the side of your truck with your branch of service. And then every truck with TMC is going to have the driver's name under the door. The other big benefits, if you want to take someone on the road with you, we have a rider program. They have to be at least 10 years old. You can take them on the road with you so they can see what you do, your kids, your spouse, or, anyone you want to bring. So that's a great program to be able to take, your family out with you. Again, you're going home each and every week anyway. Tuition reimbursement, that's big for folks who are paying to go to school. We'll pay you $200 a month, up to $6,000 to pay for the schooling that National offers. And of course, the biggest benefit we have, we're employee owned. A lot of companies say that, and they offer you stock options. But in this economy, stocks are pretty much not worth the paper they're on. We should be more, it's more of a profit sharing program, but every year, it's called the ESOP program. The company takes the percentage of profitability of TMC and multiply it by your W-2. That money goes into an interest-bearing account for you, and it grows over time. Anyone that was there from 2013 to 2018 has about $108,000 in that ESOP account. So that's free money straight from the company, and that is huge.
That is amazing. I like that. That's a perk in itself right there. Like you said, free money. So definitely a great asset for your company for sure. So you mentioned the tuition reimbursement. That's a great thing. A lot of people do have financing. What if somebody that used their GI Bill to come to school, are they eligible for that tuition reimbursement?
They are, because with TMC, they don't care how you got the money to go to school. Whatever your school bill was, they're going to reimburse you for that particular part. In fact, I had someone at your school this morning ask me that same question.
Yeah, we get a lot of veterans that come through our school, and of course, we always thank all of them for their service, and we appreciate all of our veterans. So that's a great little additional incentive for them as well. Um, Tell us a little bit about the equipment that you guys offer for your drivers. I see these big shiny black and chrome trucks.
Right, and I was able to actually get one of our trucks to swing by another school this afternoon. But we only drive the 579 Peterbilts. The oldest current truck we have is about 3 years old. There's new trucks coming in every single week. They are spec'd out as it's going to be an owner-ops truck. It's got a full digital display. It's got disc brakes all the way around. Really good stereo system, surround sound, subwoofer. It's got XM satellite radio. In the bunk area, it has double bunks. It's got a spot for a microwave and refrigerator. And on the wall, it has a 24-inch flat screen TV. And on top of the truck, you have a digital satellite. You can have direct TV service coming into your truck each and every week. It's got anti-roll technology. It's got leather crafted seats. They're spec'd out as if an owner-operator is going to drive it, because ultimately that's who winds up buying our trucks once we take them out of service.
That's wonderful. I see these trucks all over the place, and they stick out because they are just so nice for sure. I see this We allow our drivers to have a company-paid truck and trailer wash every week. Is that something that you guys require?
Well, they require it to be washed at least every 2 weeks, but we do pay for the drivers to wash it weekly because we want to have the best looking trucks on the road. A TMC truck it's black, it's chromed out, and of course it's going to have your name on the side of it. But it's a truck that we want you to be proud of. We're certainly proud of, and TMC trucks certainly have a reputation throughout the industry for being for looking good and being immaculate.
Absolutely. Like I said, they're pretty for sure. All right, let's see what else we're going to cover here. You talked about pay, we've talked about home time, we talked about benefits, we talked about the equipment. Anything else that you want to touch base on before we open up the phones to some questions here?
Well, the biggest thing is you have a choice when you go to trucking school. A lot of companies are looking for drivers. TMC's not so much. We're looking for owners. We're looking for people that are going to have pride in what they do, and they want to make money. You don't go to trucking school to make $500-600 a week. You can make that anywhere. If you're going to be away from your family, it's got to be financially worth it. The TMC offers you to be home weekly with your family and make the kind of money that you truly went to school to make. I've seen a lot out there over the years, but I've never seen anything quite like TMC. I'm proud to be called an employee of TMC, an owner of TMC, and I love what I do, and I'm proud to tell anybody about what we do.
Fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and open up some phone lines and get some questions. If you guys have any questions and you want to go ahead and talk on the microphone, just go ahead and raise your hand. Otherwise, you can type them into the chat, as I have gotten a couple over here. We'll go ahead and answer those while you guys are pondering how you want to ask your question. Let's see. One of them that came in, what the pull our equipment. Just trying to see if this is more towards you or towards the school. David Katz, let's see here. You should be able to click your microphone and unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask your question, David. Can you hear us, David? I think you might be having a connection problem. Deontay Ransby, looks like you have your hand up. You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like. Ask your question.
Hey y'all.
Hi, how are you?
Good. My question, I am currently a yard driver. I have been a yard driver for about a year and let's see, a year and 5 months. So do I get credit for driving as a yard driver, or it's just when I start school, it's always starting over?
So that would really just depend on the company. I feel, Brad, if you disagree with me on that, it would just depend on what the company said. You're not going to have the over the road experience. Let me ask you this, Deontay, do you have a CDL currently, or are you doing just strictly yard where you don't require a CDL?
Just strictly yard where I don't require your CDL.
Okay, so you will be considered a new driver.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but there's plenty of opportunity with companies like TMC and many others that we. Okay, thank you for your question, Deontay. It's a great question, though. We did get a couple questions here in the box that I'll read out to you, Brad. What if you don't want to go home on the weekend? Where would you stay? Would you stay with your truck or drive your truck home with you? Good question.
Yeah, the trucks go home every weekend with you anyway. If you go home, you'll take your truck home. If you don't want to go home and stay out and run and make more money, you can certainly do that. They'll allow you to do that. In fact, the running area is all 48 states and Canada. But for you, if you want to go home each weekend, your radius will be about 800 to 1,000 miles around your house. So drivers in the Florida area, South Georgia area, can pretty much expect to be down in the southeast for the most part. But if you want to go out west, you're welcome to do that. If you want to go to Canada, you're welcome to do that. We have a lot of drivers who will do that about 3 or 4 times per year just because they want to see, a little bit of a different part of the country than what they're normally used to.
Very good questions. Yeah, I've heard from some of our graduates that are working for you guys that say, sometimes they do want to come home, but sometimes they're okay with staying out and get to go a little further and make that extra money. So,
It
definitely
depends if whoever's at home's angry at you or not, whether you want to stay out or not.
very true. Uh, we got another question. For people that have other healthcare plans and do not want to use yours, do you compensate that with extra pay?
They don't compensate it with extra pay, but you won't be paying for it with TMC. You can opt out of it, and that money doesn't come out of your paycheck. Yeah, there's no extra pay, but your checks will be take home will be a little bit bigger because you're not paying for that.
Absolutely. Good questions, guys. Let's see here. Let's see. Um, so David, whenever he was the first one I had called on, his mic wasn't working. He said he'd be interested in working 2 weeks at a time, maybe 3 times a year at the start. Can you kind of cover on the possibility of that?
Oh yeah, I mean if you want to go when you get your own truck and you take off, you can go any time that you can stay out as long as you want. You can do. They will offer you home time each week, but if you say, "Hey, I don't really have anything going on at home. I want to stay out for a week or two at a time," about every other month, anything you want to do, they'll work with you. But the opportunity to go home will be there weekly. But if you want to stay out, your fleet manager will work with you in keeping you loaded for the time that you want to stay out. And you just let them know, hey, I want to be home this coming weekend. There's a birthday party, something like that, and they'll be glad to make that happen.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you're not worried about getting home, David, you can stay out as long as you like. So that's great. I like that about you guys because you have that flexibility. And of course, if people want to keep going, let them keep going. All right, let's see. Looking to see if I have any other hands raised. Shay, let's see here. Shay Baylor, go ahead and unmute yourself. You can answer. You can ask your question.
Hi, it's Shia. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. My question is, when you come home and you mentioned you bring the truck home, but if I live in a community where I'm not able to park my truck in a community, but I secure parking with a facility, does that cost get sent specifically to me, or do you get reimbursed for that?
Right. If you have parking, that is a cost that's on you. But Home Depot and Lowe's are biggest customers. So Home Depot and Lowe's, you're welcome to park in their parking lots. Just stay away from where the customers come in and out. They don't. You
Okay.
can park there for free. They never have a problem with that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good. That was one of my concerns.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shia.
You're welcome there.
Any other questions anybody might have? You can raise your hand or you can type it in the question box. Oh, I did get another one. What about pet policy? Do you guys have a pet policy?
So I'll give you the policy, and then I'm going to tell you real life. The policy is no pets. The reason they do that is because the trucks are immaculate. But it's easy to ask forgiveness and permission. It's not an offense they're going to fire you over. It's just an offense they're going to say, hey, get the puppy out of the truck. But I will tell you, once you get your truck issued, you do not go back to a TMC facility. We don't come and stop from the yard. You stop from home every week, and you simply go to the receivers and the shippers. I actually passed one of our trucks yesterday. Our driver and his dog both waved at me.
Nice. Oh goodness, that's crazy. But good questions, guys. Let's see. Okay, Gene said he graduated from a 10-week CDL class back in December of 19, had a job in agricultural fertilizer that he still has. He only pulls their equipment, but it's a Class A trailer. Would that be somebody that you guys would be able to hire? He's a fourth generation guy, but it sounds like he's been doing mostly like hot shot style driving for his agricultural company.
Absolutely. If he has a Class A and has a valid medical, he's just as qualified as someone coming straight out of CDL school or has been driving a tractor trailer for 15 years.
Perfect. So yeah, Gene, you can definitely apply for a company like TMC as long as you have that valid CDL Class A, like you said. They can put you with a driver trainer and just make sure you're ready to rock and get you going. Getting some great questions, guys. I'm liking all these questions. All right. Looks like the rest of them that I have in here are more along the lines of our school side of things, so I can definitely answer all of those. Well, Brad, I really appreciate you taking time out of your evening to join us tonight and help us out with answering some great questions and telling them about your company. We always
Awesome.
appreciate TMC.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And guys, I'll tell you, National is one of the best schools I've ever gone to in the country, and I go all over the Southeast. First time I went to National and got in the golf cart and went around that track, it's phenomenal. There's nothing else like it in the country. They're going to teach you not only how to drive the truck and how to pass the CDL test. They're going to teach you they're going to teach you how to get into this career and be successful. The one thing I will tell you is wherever you're looking to go to work, apply early, get a pre-hire letter, get all the paperwork completed. So when you graduate, get that paper copy from DMV, you can go straight to work. You know, if you can avoid a contract, please do that, and don't fall for sign-on bonuses because there's usually a hook in it somewhere. So, guys, if I can answer any questions, Kayla's gladly give you my phone number, and I'll help you any way that I can.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Brad. You have a wonderful rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you. All right, guys, so we're going to keep on rocking here with our presentation for the national training. You guys asked some really good questions. I really appreciate that. All right, let's see here. So our trucks. Thousands of drivers have had their very first truck driving experience in our trucks. A lot of people have never even sat in a tractor trailer before they came to school. So we have cab over engines with sleepers, conventional condos, sleeper cabs, day cabs. We have, as I like to call it, our mixed fleet. So you guys are able to experience a little bit of everything that this industry has to offer. If you've never seen the inside of a tractor trailer, it might look a little something like this when you have that sleeper cab. You're going to have your driver's seat, plenty of storage because you know you're essentially living in this truck most of your time. So you're going to have your sleeper bunk. Some of them are more like the double bunks like they showed for TMC, but some of them are going to be a single bunk where you can tip it up into like a table or a dining area, so you can use it as like a desk. All the seats are going to be super comfortable. You know, that's where you're spending most of your time is behind that wheel. So you definitely want to make sure you have a comfortable seat, and those companies do a pretty good job, and these truck manufacturers do a good job making sure that's the case. Most of them are going to come equipped with a microwave or a TV. Some of them don't provide those, but you know it's all equipped to be able to take on that load with the converters. Different driving jobs. You can haul freights of all different kinds. Some companies remain in a primarily specified area of the country. TMC, they are in all lower 48 states, but you stay regional. So that's, you know, within about a 1,200-mile radius of where you live. Most companies offer weekly home time, great pay, steady runs, company benefits. The driver scale, driver pay scale, this is based off of the 19 to 20 Bureau of Labor and Statistics, but I will honestly say these numbers have gone up quite significantly over the last few years. I kind of like halfway joke that if anything good came out of the pandemic, it was the pay and the need for truck drivers. But it's great money, you know. On average, you're earning probably $1,000 plus per week. Team drivers, double that because there's 2 drivers. That truck's moving twice as much. School qualifications. We are going to review everyone's driving record, their criminal background, physical abilities. Everybody has to do a drug screen before they come to school. Super important that we want to know your intensity to succeed. We ensure that you're going to benefit from our school before you get here, because the ultimate goal in this is gainful employment, and we want to make sure that you are indeed employable. We have a 4-week residence hands-on training. We have this fantastic campus with this 1¼ mile track, as you see here. This is our paved 1¼ mile highway. It's multi-lane, so the trucks go around and they get used to shifting, upshifting, downshifting, stopping a 70-foot tractor trailer. All of our road trucks are sleeper cabs with a 53-foot trailer. So it's the real deal when you're out there. We want to make sure that you're comfortable before you leave our property and before you start dealing with other people on the road. Make sure that you are safe enough to do so. Safety, super important. #1 priority. This is our state-of-the-art simulator that we have here. Mr. Mike Adams here showing it off. It's really cool tool that we use for a lot of different purposes. My favorite purpose of it is the backing. I feel like if you're having an issue with backing, that simulator will help you work out any kinks because it's a lot of different angles that you can view it at. It really helps you understand, okay, when I turn my wheel this way, this is what the trailer does. So a lot of people, you know, might have a difficult time getting that, and we can help them work that out on the simulator. Our career services department, we have a placement process that we've been perfecting for over 44 years, and it really does work. I have multiple companies that come in and talk to our students throughout their time here in school. TMC always comes. I love having them, but we have a lot of others too. We have something for everybody, as I like to put it. We work with our students beginning on the very first day of school. I do a presentation with the class. You know, we can talk to you one-on-one, do some private counseling with you just to help you find a company that's going to be a great match for you. We also have a job board, truckschool.com/jobs, where our alumni and other CDL drivers can take a look at what's available. You know, this isn't just based off of where our school is located. Rather, pretty much anybody across the U.S. can utilize this. We do get a lot of people from out of town, so that's why we do have a great accommodation with the Green Coast Springs Inn. You can really stay anywhere you want, but this is going to be your best bang for your buck, and it's close by. About 7 miles from our training grounds, which, if you know where we're located, 7 miles is about as close as it gets. We have a great facility here, so that we have this wonderful relationship with the Green Cove Springs Inn. They give our students a wonderful rate. $902 for the 4 weeks. That breaks down to about $34 a night. Really can't beat it. That's for a double occupancy room. Costs, fees, and financing. The tuition for our school is $7,495. We do offer multiple types of financing. Anything from outside financing with your banks and credit unions to workforce, vocational rehab, the VA, as we talked about earlier, those GI bills, post 9/11 bills, TAA, income share agreements. More specifically, we deal with MIA share. We have in-house financing, and most of the companies that you would go to work for do offer that tuition reimbursement. We have been doing this for a long time. It's all good. We have it all. We have the companies and the jobs. We have the industry recognition. We have impeccable governmental relations. We have guaranteed tuition financing for everyone. We have over 40,000 graduates that came before you. We have a program that is really fun to complete. They have a blast out there and an awesome training facility. We always appreciate all of our students that come from the Department of Veterans Affairs programs, the Department of Vocational Rehab programs, state vocational rehab programs, state workforce programs, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. National training is where the trucking companies come for new drivers. Like I said, TMC has come to every class since I have been here in the 3 years that I've been here. But we also get visits from companies like Covenant. You know, they're going to primarily focus on team driving. We have a great company, Windy Hill Foliage. They deliver plants out of Florida, but they deliver dry freight everywhere else. You know, we have Schneider, who does a little bit of everything. So we have a lot of great companies that will help you out. At this time, I'd like to answer any questions that you guys might have about our school. Looks like we've got our general manager, Andrew, on here as well, so he can help me out if we need to.
Good evening, everybody.
Thanks, Andrew.
Good.
All
I see
right.
you guys have a lot of great questions tonight.
I know. I love it. If you have any questions for us about the school, you can either raise your hand. We'll call on you one at a time, or you can type them into the question box. Ladravius, I see Andrew answered you. We will give you a call first thing tomorrow. Kiera asked if veterans can join. If you're referring to our school, absolutely. We love our veterans. We have a lot of veterans that come through our school here. We have a great relationship.
Kayla, I'm looking at a question from David Katz. He talks about $1,500 pre-tax or post-tax. And that is a very interesting question.
So the way that Brad was breaking it down, because that was kind of related to his previous question of how much he could look at getting for staying out for a couple weeks at a time. I said probably about $1,500 plus or minus a week, because they pay weekly. That would probably, based off of how he was breaking that down, because you're going to get that extra pay for staying out and you're getting, you know, extra loads for being out. I would pretty confidently say that's probably going to be about your post tax.
Well, there's also the per diem pay.
Yes.
Kayla, that you know, when you spend the night in the truck, there's a certain amount of money the IRS will give you pre-taxed. I think right now it's $62 per night of pre-taxed money. So when you're setting up with any of the companies, whether it be TMC or any of them, you want to know what their per diem rules are. And you know, if you're looking to buy a truck and save money, you might want to wait and do your per diem at tax time. Or if you're looking to show money, you may want to do per diem weekly as far as the tax. So great question there, David. And we do talk about that when you're here at the school.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we got some really great questions tonight. I love it. All right. Any other questions? Anybody might want to throw their hand up or throw into the question box? Andrew and I will be happy to answer them for you. While you guys are going through that, I'm going to go through a couple of quick announcements with you here. Our next truck webinar is going to be Tuesday, February 21st. That's 2 weeks from today, guys. Every 2 weeks we do this. February 21st at 6:30. Our guest that night will be Ben Harvey with Swift Transportation.
Yeah, I didn't hear all of. Did Brad talk about being employee owned?
Yes. We went over that pretty thoroughly.
Huge difference there.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite thing about TMC.
And I just finished the numbers from last year. We actually put more people at TMC than any other company.
I know, I noticed that as well. They hire a lot of our students.
Yeah.
Kira asked, how much in good health do you have to be to get accepted? Let's see here. Inside the school. Kira, as long as you're able to pass a DOT physical, which is required to be able to have a CDL license, you will be able to get into the school health-wise. And David, what's the minimum age for qualifying? So the generic age is 21. You can obtain a CDL at 18, but you will only be able to drive in the state that you are licensed in.
In something like that, Kayla, you know, instead of talking about cents per mile or percentage of the load, typically on a local company where you're just driving inside the state, you're actually talking more about an hourly wage or a salary wage rather than earning miles or percentage.
Absolutely. And as Jean actually just said, commission pay, lower miles per load makes you more money. That's exactly right, Jean. Like kind of how Brad was touching on, you know, you might have a $1,100 load. There's different points on that, but if you have a shorter load, but you know, it's a great paying load, your cent per mile ratio is a lot higher than any other place that you're going to go. So that's a great point. Thanks for pointing that out. Is there an age limit to come to school? You have to be at least 18 to come to school. All right. So another special announcement, we are having our next open house event on Saturday, March 18th. So about a month and a half from now. We do a few every couple of months. It's a Saturday morning that everybody comes in and we show everybody the school, answer any questions that you have, we'll do some presentations, and most importantly, put everybody up in a truck and let them go for a ride with one of our instructors. It's a great time, bring your family, bring the kids. We had a little guy on a piece of heavy equipment last time, right, Andrew?
Yo, sure. We have one down there today. Got a piece of heavy equipment, 4 years old.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that was whenever I was out at lunch, but that's awesome. I love seeing the kids come because it really plants a seed in their head. A great. All right, let's see, David. So my 2-week stints, would you recommend long or short haul jobs?
Regional.
For 2 weeks, you want to go over the road or regional. Do the bigger hauls are going to make you more money for sure. All right, what about if you are coming after the open house? If you're coming after the open house, Kiera, definitely set up a time with your admissions advisor to set up a tour. We'll be happy to do so. We do lots of tours all the time. I feel like I do one at least every day.
Kiera, we also have virtual tours.
Yes.
Where you can get on the schedule and have a virtual tour of all of the training grounds. So anybody who's interested in that, just give us a call and we will set you up with a virtual tour as well. It's a Zoom meeting, but it's live and you can pretty much see everything.
Most definitely. Wonderful questions. David said I may want to do the program with my son and then tandem drive. Absolutely. I actually did a tour. Andrew and I kind of co-toured a group today. It was a father-son duo that wants to come in and do some team driving together once they get out of school. So that's awesome. Now, as long as your son's over 21, he'll be able to do the over-the-road thing.
One of the things they were anxious about, though, Kayla, was to be able to train together.
Yes, absolutely.
And, we talked about Schneider and we talked about Covenant. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah, most definitely. We do a lot of work on getting a great variety of companies in here so that everybody has somewhere that they can happily go. But like you said, that great point of having them train here together, we get a lot of not just, father, sons, mother, daughters, whatever it may be, spouses. We've also had people team up with a classmate. We had a couple of classes last year where we got more than one team out of each class. Those drivers ended up going and driving together, and they're doing really well.
Yep, for sure.
Makes a big difference when you train together and you start off in the same spot and you have the same foundation. It makes a big difference. Wonderful, wonderful questions, guys. Any other questions for us tonight? All right, Kiera said, if you get asked to come to work for a company from a family member, do you guys know anything about them? If it's a company, if it's an established trucking company, I can definitely find out any information on them. I'm hopefully answering your question properly here, Kiera. If it's a small owner operator company, odds are I won't know a whole lot about them, but I am happy to do my research and learn about them for sure. It's in Alabama. Yeah, I can definitely do some research on them for you. All right, guys. So just make sure that you're contacting your admissions representative first thing tomorrow. Our admissions office phone number is 1-800-488-7364. David, another question. How much mechanical knowledge is learned? So you're going to learn the basics, David. You're going to learn everything that you need to know for your pre-trip inspection and how to make sure your truck is safe. It's not a diesel mechanics education, but you're going to definitely know the foundation of your truck and know how to identify any issues that you're having.
Hey, Kayla, I would tell people, go ahead and start your pre-trip now. You can go right online to YouTube, put Mike Adams pre-trip, where you can go to our website on third-party testing. We actually have the pre-trip video there. I think realistically, the pre-trip is the hardest part of the whole course.
I agree with you.
Because there's so much memorization. So while you're out there and you're getting your permit, and you got your permit, now go after your pre-trip. It makes the time that you're here go so much faster, and you can actually take that time, because you know the pre-trip, to really get your backing down and your shifting.
Most definitely.
So
Yeah, you want to get the hard part out of the way. Go ahead and learn your pre-trip. The video is very thorough and definitely helps out.
yep. So it's YouTube, Mike Adams pre-trip.
Also linked on our website too.
Yep.
All right, guys. So your lost time's costing you big money. If you haven't reached out, please do so first thing tomorrow. Talk with one of our admissions advisor. They can definitely help you out and guide you in the right direction on what you're needing to accomplish to get into school.
Okay, it says, my residence is in Ohio. I need to get the paperwork, et cetera, done. Okay, so David, you would have your CDL permit from Ohio with your Ohio driver's license. You'll come down here to Florida, you'll do the course, you'll take your state test, and we'll give you the paperwork to bring back to the Ohio to get your Ohio CDL license without having to retest in Ohio.
Yep. Yeah, we can test you here. Definitely get that taken care of for you. But everybody's required to have their permit before they come to school, so we'll definitely take any state as long as you don't have a K restriction on that permit. So make sure you get your DOT physical before you get your permit, David, because they'll put a restriction on it if you don't. That way you're down here legally driving.
Yeah, we've had that happen before.
We have it, and you know we do a pretty good job of making sure we don't miss anything on that. So definitely make sure you get your DOT physical. Make sure you don't leave there with any restrictions, and we can help you out.
All right, I look forward to seeing you guys down here soon. Kayla, you did a great job tonight, and it was a very enjoyable webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you all so much for joining in, and thanks for all the wonderful interaction. I love when we get a good question feed going here. Love the interaction with you guys, and really hope to see all of you here very soon. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. In order to leave the webinar, you can go to File, Exit, Leave Webinar. Thanks so much, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Kayla, we're going to have a meeting.